Striker Scorpion 82 is now sponsored by Warhammer Combat Cards, a card battle game featuring your favourite Citadel miniatures from the 40k universe. Build your army decks, dominate opponents in player versus player action, collect and upgrade cards to fit your strategy, improve their power and unlock unique traits. Choose from all 40k factions, take part in campaigns based on iconic 40k battles, rise to the top of the leaderboard and win glory. Free to download and play, link is in the video description below or on the channel homepage, and by using the unique link it helps support the channel. Thanks and enjoy the game. Right, welcome to this video about Necrons. So, judging by the title, I want to talk about why I think Necrons are incredible, amazing, awesome. So, I've got top 5 reasons why I think they're so good. I've got a number of armies on the go at the moment, but the army that I'm enjoying painting up the most is the Necrons. There's just a real good vibe about them at the moment. And so, a lot of people chasing after Space Marines, and Space Marines are so popular, but it's worth considering the other factions that Games Workshop have available. And I think now, I've been playing Necrons for, say, 7 or 8 years, if not slightly more. And I would say now is the best time to be collecting Necrons. Some amazing models, brilliant codex, in my opinion, and just been really enjoying collecting Necrons. So this is the video just going to be about them, top reasons why I think they're well worth collecting, and why you would find collecting Necrons very enjoyable indeed. But that's the video. We'll get stuck in to the top reasons why Necrons are so good. So before we get going, it's easy to do. Just hit the thumbs up on the video, it's much appreciated, and leave a comment as well. There's lots to talk about here in this video. So comments are much appreciated, just helps the video, gives it a bit of a boost and helps the channel out as well. So Necrons then, they had the same models for a good few years, which were nice enough. It was before this all came along, before the new edition came along, before the new models, before Indomitus came along. I still love my Necron collection, it's fantastic, really happy with the paint scheme on it. Love the models. I thought they were really nice and up to date, but Games Workshop have really excelled themselves and pretty much doubled the size of the collection here for Necrons. So that's one of the reasons why it's such a good time to collect them. But reason number 1 why Necrons are amazing is they have incredible new models. The new models that Games Workshop have produced are fantastic, and I'm saying like just amazing models. They're really good. In this video I'm going to show you some of my models. Some I haven't painted yet, some I've been working on, some I've just finished, just to give you an idea of the models that I'm working on currently here. So obviously it's all kicked off with the new Indomitus box set that's come out. I've noticed a lot of people gone mad for the Space Marines, and Necron's not so popular, and it's a shame because the Necron models, in my opinion, I prefer and I like them over and above the Space Marine stuff. So I just think that the sculpting work on them is fantastic. So let's just give you an idea. There you go. I'm on the inside the codex here, and just give you an idea of the models. So Games Workshop, I thought the Necron Warrior models were fine, but they revamped them and revamped them really well. They're incredible models, fantastic job that they've done. The ones previously were sort of almost squatting with their legs apart, and it made them quite short. These are still hunched, but they stand taller. The posing on them is better. The details, well, it's probably best to show you the actual models, which I have to show in just a moment. There's the new Luminor Xerus model, which I was building last night. Utterly incredible model. The sculpting work is just amazing on that. That's the Canoptic Reanimator. Again, it's one of the new models. And there's so many new models now that you can virtually build an Necron army with troops, HQ choices, elites and so on, purely of just the new models. None of the previous range is required. You could go pretty much brand new models, which it just goes to show how much Games Workshop have invested in new models, which is fantastic. But I mean, look at these. Just the colour scheme is fantastic. The Games Workshop have done, introducing a bit more bronze. This is sort of the new dynasty that they have introduced here in the book. But just been blown away by the quality of the sculpt work and the design work that's been done. You've got units like the Royal Warden, amazing model, really nice. The Scorpec Lord, another really good one. So just a massive expansion in variety, which is great for any faction. It's an amazing thing to see. It's great to see that happening. So amazing models. You've seen pictures. I'll bring in and show you what I've been working on. It's different stages here. So got my Indomitus box set, which is very handy for holding models, and then I'll zoom in and show you what I've been working on. So I built him last night here. So this is your Luminor Xeris here, but the detail with this plastic kit, it's so intricate. I'm going to have to be very, very careful how I transport this model around. And I have to warn you, you've got this is quite a difficult one to construct to get it right, because it's so finely detailed. But you probably only really discover that, just seeing how well that's glued. You only really discover that when you come to build it, just to realise how fine a detail it is. It's sucking the life force and brains out of this psyche here, and then it's all this liquid's all coming up into the spinning liquid orb as he refangles it into something else. And this isn't painted yet. I'm going to paint it in my standard sort of Necron colour scheme, which you'll see in just a moment. But very much looking forward to having this model in the heart of my Necron army. It occupies a huge base. It's bigger than a Dreadnought base, so he is a big model. The other great thing about a lot of the new models that are coming out, not just for the Necrons, for many of the factions, they're including details on the base, which is a brilliant idea. Just means you've got nice features being added on. It helps pose the model, adds an area of interest. They can pose things differently. They can have models jumping off of things, leaping up and so on. You can see he's heading up in this direction here as he sort of stands on the edge of these ruins here, and then obviously the detail of this model on the base as well. But all that kind of thing just really adds to the theme of the model, the drama of the scene. It's like a little diorama taking place here. But that's the Luminor Xeris. One of my top 5 of the new models. That's incredible. So that's him. So the next stage of him, I'll sand the top of the base here, put glue on, and then drag and drop in all the stones and bits on that, and then I'll follow the exact same process as seen in the Necron painting tutorial that's here on the channel, so you can check that out. Search on the channel here for Necron painting tutorial, and you can follow that process. I'll use that exact same process that you see in that video for this model here, just on a bigger scale. That's the Luminor Xeris. I've also got a Hexmark Destroyer, built him the other night. There he is, quite big. He stands taller than a Primaris Space Marine. He's equipped with these 6 pistols. Again, crazy. Look at the pose, look at the concept of this thing. Absolutely fantastic. Concept wise, sculpt wise, this is Games Workshop at their best. These models are amazing. They'll be absolutely, they're one-off models, so they're going to be a joy to paint. Just paint one of them. Here's a model that I finished. Here, that's the Scorpec Lord. So that gives you an idea what they look like painted up. But again, look at the concept of them and the detail. And you see the detail on the base. That's not me. That's part of the sculpt of the kit. The little scarabs crawling up the side of this. And really happy with my rusty, worn out, battle worn silver, and then this neon green, and a nice bit of bronze here as well. Very straightforward colour scheme. This is the new painted tutorial for the Necrons that's on the channel as well. When the Indomitus box set came out, I did a brand new painted tutorial for the Necrons, and it's this actual model that I paint in the video. So if you like what you see here, and I'll show you how to paint all the detail on the blade. It's quite easy to do. How to get all this neon effects, how to dry brush and do all the silver, the rusty effects, how to do the basing, flock, inking details and so on there. That's all covered in that video from start to finish. And you can just follow along and get the exact same results that you see here in this video. But very, very happy with my Necron colour scheme. So that's him. I'll keep going. Might as well just make it a real showcase this video. This is the Scorpec Destroyers. Look at the blades on these. I just love the tripod crab style legs of these. Brilliant idea to introduce that kind of unit into the collection. And these things are deadly in the game. They're scary. This little plasma sight that you saw earlier on. These are all from the ones that are painted that I've shown you. So him, Scorpec Destroyers, plasma sight. That's all from the Indomitus box set. Then, yeah, let's show you. I've actually painted up this one. So it's the Canoptic Reanimator, and I used bronze just throughout some of the model, just to add another metallic here. And again, all the details you see on the base, that's all part of the plastic kit. There's the neon green effects there as well. And just showing you the detail. You can see the sort of pits and marks, damage, battle scars and damage all etched onto the metalwork here. That's a great detail that Games Workshop have added onto all of the new models. There he is. There's more Scorpec Destroyers. I'm actually running a unit of 8 here. So there they are. Brilliant concept, these. Really, really good. Here is these. See if I can just come in a little bit here. There he is. That's the Royal Warden. Look at the detail of this coming down on his back. Fantastic. And the detail on the gun. Brilliant job. So, bronze, silver, I put a white stripe, it's already sculpted on there, it's just painted that in white just to make him look a bit more royal, like he's a ranking officer. That's the Royal Warden. That skull on the base is all part of the sculpt as well. So that's him. I'll show you my favourite model now. This is my absolute number one. I'd love all the models, but this is the number one. It's this guy here. That's the new Necron Overlord with the tachyon arrow and the, I think it's the hyperphase glaive it's called. Look at all the ornate details coming down. This is in the Indomitus box set. There he is. Detail on the weapon. But just look at the pose on him. It's just to have him at the heart of your army, commanding the Necron legions as they march forwards. Amazing. So he's really, really good. And then I'll show you, these aren't painted yet. I'm hoping to paint 40 of the new Necron warriors. Look at the poses on these, the way they're holding their weapons. Fantastic. See the pits and scars here on some of the models. And then on some of the heads, yeah, some of the real smashed up and battle damage. This guy here, see his jaws just smashed to the left. Brilliant. And what I've done, these ones fighting on the front rank with their shorter range weapons, can't remember the name of them here, but I can imagine those fighting on the front rank and they're taking more hits and more damage, so I put more of the damage skulls on those that will be at the front rank. There's another example of one just there. Just a different pose every time. And they stand a bit taller, I think, than the previous Necron warriors. They're still hunched, but they're not squatting, the legs are more straightened, so they just stand a little bit more taller. Look at that. Look at the skull on that. Completely caved in, all wires and things showing through. Detail is top quality. Really good. So I must commend Games Workshop for doing a fantastic job with the new Necrons. They really, really have done a good job on these. I'll zoom out and then show you one of the larger models. So this is the Canoptic Doomstalker. Look at the size of it. I'll give you a size comparison. You don't really appreciate the size of it until you get it out of the box. There's a Necron warrior. Utterly huge, and again, the concept of it is so War of the Worlds kind of thing going on with this. Really love these. This there's no other faction that's got anything like this. So really unique. With the basing that I've been working on, I've started to add a few of the green tufts of grass. I think that's a nice addition. Let me know what you think in the comment section below, but it just adds a little bit more interest to the basing. And again, you see all the wall that he's standing on here, this piping, that's all part of the plastic kit as well, which is great. This model's not finished yet. You can see that the glowing neon effect hasn't been done, but I'm a good part of the way through the model. I've done the final highlights for the silver. It's just the neon green that I need to pick out in this model. It's finished and ready to go, but it's very quick, very easy to paint with this Necron colour scheme. So very happy with the results. But that's the Canoptic Doomstalker, these huge things that you can have accompany your army. So that's reason number one. Is the models are incredible. And it's it's something different to Space Marines, but models, incredible job. And that's all the way from the resculpts that were done with the Necron Warriors, for example, the Scarab Swarms, and then also an amazing job done with the brand new models that Games Workshop have produced as well. So that's one reason why I think Necrons are amazing, and now is sort of the best time ever to collect them. The second reason, it sort of flows in from this one, and that is that they are easy to paint if you want them to be. I mean, you can go hyper detailed on them and spend ages and go for a complex colour scheme, but the colour scheme I run, which is sort of very sort of classic Necron kind of looks, this neon glowing green and then the rusted bronze and silver kind of look with this colour scheme. I give you an example. I pretty much painted this model. I'll just zoom back in. So I painted this model in pretty much an hour and a half it took to paint him. That's not very long at all. For an HQ choice, that is very, very quick. The key, what really helps you out with this, and I sort of cover it in the painting tutorials, is you build them, base them, and then spray silver, spray grey around the base. That means my base trim's done, the base is shaded. I immediately go into highlights, washes, and flock on that. Very quick. And then, because most of your model is silver, that's your key colour done. I put the bronze on, the darker black, metallic kind of colour. So bronze black, and then I paint the green, sort of dark green to start off with. Then I just put my washes over the top, a couple of washes. And after that, just pick out the details, re-highlight, pick out a few little details, eyes, the Necron symbol just here, do a bit of work on the gun, repaint, and then highlight the piping. That's the model finished. So, about an hour and a half for him, hour and a half for him. I've got myself two really finely detailed HQ choices. So you can go for a little bit of work here on the blade, but because everything else is so quick, you can just spend a little bit of time just making the blade look really nice. And it means because you've got quite a standard effect going on for most of the model, when you do a little bit of work, it is seen, it's more visible, that blade really sticks out quite nicely and quite easy to do. And that's covered in the video as well, because I'll show you how to do it here on the Scorpec Lord. See that nice glow and trim on that? That's all covered in that video. But there he is. Again, this guy, a few hours work on him. Very easy to paint. And so that's my second reason why I think Necrons are great. It's an army that you can paint up quickly. You could get a 2,000 point army done, I think, a lot quicker than a lot of the other armies. Quicker to paint the Space Marines and so on. So another great reason to collect Necrons is that they can be, if you want them to be, they can be very quick to paint indeed. Okay, so reason number one, the sculpts are amazing. Reason number two why Necrons are so good is that they're easy to paint, and the painting tutorials here on the channel will guide you through. Reason number three why it's a good idea to collect Necrons now is because they are cheap. They don't cost very much. I think the reason for that is obviously if you go buy them off the shelf from their individual boxes, then they're going to be comparable to other factions that are out there. But what's happened is the Indomitus box sets come out, everyone's gone mad for Space Marines, and so there's a surplus, there's a lot of spare Necrons floating around. I went on eBay the other day just looking for spare Necron stuff. For example, this model here, which usually to buy in a blister pack, a plastic box set from Games Workshop, a model of this comparable to this would cost you about £18. Now on eBay I found him for about £4.50, the same model for a third, if not less, of the price. That's because a lot of people collected Space Marines. They've got loads of spare Necrons, so they're putting them on eBay, and so now's a good time. It's not always going to be like that. Once those models are sold, then they'll be available again, but they're not going to be as cheap, I don't think. So now's the golden time to grab Necrons from eBay and other places. There'll be other places selling second-hand models, different places you can go to get them, and again, you'll probably find they're quite cheap to get a hold of. Or perhaps you've got a friend that's got the Space Marines from the Indomitus box set and they've got spare Necrons kicking around. Well, now might be a good time to get a hold of those whilst you can get them at such a good price. So Necrons are cheap. That's another great reason to start collecting them, and I would say sooner rather than later. They're sort of at a real prime time to collect them now. It's amazing models, easy to paint, cheap to buy. That's your reasons. There's 2 more reasons to come. So the next one is reason number 4 why Necrons are amazing to collect is because they are so unique and so different to all the other factions. If you're looking for something different to collect and something that's vastly different to any of the other factions that are out there, then Necrons may well be the option you want to go for. The concepts, I mean, there's nothing like this here in 40k. Now with these new units, this sort of undead mechanical style, it's hard to compare them to anything that's already out there, and so Necrons are very, very unique army indeed. Again, the Scorpec units, the sort of tripod crab style units, there's nothing comparable to them. They are exceptionally unique. The storyline behind them is unique. They sort of stand alone from the other factions as well. So a very, very different storyline and theme with them. The play style, the way they operate on the battlefield is different as well. These legions marching across the table, this kind of undead / zombie-ish kind of concept going on with them. Again, very unique compared to any of the other factions that are out there. So the uniqueness of the Necrons is the 4th reason why I think they're an amazing faction to collect. And then the final reason number 5, why I think Necrons are such a good faction to collect, is their codex. Their codex, in my opinion, is excellent. I've played a good number of games now with the Necrons, and I've been mightily impressed by this new book. So there's a number of reasons why I like the book so much. Mostly it's the rules. The production quality is amazing. You've got all these brand new units being added into the book as well, so you've got new rules, new stats, new abilities here for the brand new units, plus the revamp of all the previous models as well. But the way the book works, it rewards you for playing Necrons how they should be played, like according to the fluff. This legion, this marching legion of Necron warriors, large blobs of Necron warriors, I think are very, very strong for the Necrons, and so you're able to have a very thematic army and tactically be rewarded for that as well. And Games Workshop seem to be doing this with all of the factions. You play them how they're meant to be played, you get rewarded for it in the rules in all sorts of different ways, and it's the same for the Necrons. The playstyle of the Necrons is sort of an advancing legion that's happy to control and dig in the centre of the table and dictate play from there, to control objectives, to shoot, fight in close combat, do all those things and do it well, and to be an army that's very durable and hard to get rid of, an army that's going to be nice and solid for you on the battlefield. And so if that appeals to you, that's the kind of thing to expect if you're going to collect Necrons and then use them in the games. So I'll pick out a few examples of things that I really like. Let's just see. So some of the stratagems are great. But let's just have. I play Mefrit Dynasty here. So I mean, for that, I'm trying to have legions of models and dishing out just tons and tons of firepower there. You get an extra 3-inch range. It's an extra AP -1 at close range, so you're getting rewarded for tons of firepower coming through with that. So there's some great stratagems, things like Resurrection Protocols, a Cryptek model or an Infantry Noble model. They're slain, and you play a command point, you got a chance for them to resurrect. And this whole theme of Necrons where they get knocked down and they just reassemble and get back up again. Fantastic stratagem. When your characters gets taken out, you just get back up and resurrect. That's a Brilliant one. Just there, just give you an idea. And then moving on to all the different upgrades now that you can give to the Cryptex. Just tons of options available for them. The Warlord traits, all pretty good. But I want to show you, yeah, the relics. Absolutely love the relics. This one here, I played Mefrit Dynasty. Here is the Warden here. The Conduit of Stars, range 36 this weapon, rapid fire 3. So it's 6 shots at half range, which is almost 20 inches. Strength 6, -2, 2 damage. Fantastic weapon to take. Another one I really like, the Arrow of Infinity. So this model here is Tachyon Arrow that he's equipped with. Usually it's D6 damage. You can take a relic on him. Arrow of Infinity is range 120. It's Assault 1, Strength 16, -5, and then a straight 6, guaranteed 6 damage on that. You know, it's an exciting weapon to use on him, and it's just something really unique for the Necrons. So there's that one. Then there's Orb of Eternity, so I like to use that one. When you make your reanimation, you're trying to get models back up. It's just a better version of that. More models are going to rise up from the dead. So it's all this kind of the whole theme of the Necrons, this undead legion here. You're getting amazing relics and amazing rules and stratagems that really help you echo that kind of fluff and background story that runs along with the Necrons. So what's happening in the game as characters are reassembling, getting back up, fallen Necron warriors are reassembling and getting back up and so on. All of that is what you'd expect from the Necrons and the background story, and so there's that harmony there between background story and the rules reflecting that in a powerful way as well. So I love that combination of what's going on. The Necron Codex just seems to fit in with that perfectly. And then these chapter approved rules here, these extra secondaries that you can take, just these are so good. You've got Code of Combat here. Score 3 victory points at the end of the battle for each enemy unit that was destroyed by Necron's noble unit from your army. So this guy here, if he destroys a unit, remember he's got the 6 damage Tachyon Arrow here, or if he fights in close combat and destroys a unit, you're going to pick up points. So using your nobles, again reflecting the fluff here, you've got these Necron HQ choices that are happy to get stuck in, and they should be getting stuck in. I mean, look at the way he's equipped. When you do that and you destroy stuff, then you can pick up points for it. And you've got to wipe out the units. So you can imagine in a game, you've got a larger infantry unit, enemy models, you use your firepower and gun them all down, and the last couple of remaining models, the noble steps forwards and finishes them off. I mean, it's so cinematic, and you're being rewarded for it during the game. You've got this one here, Purge the Vermin, which is a very powerful secondary. You get 2 victory points at the end of your turn for each table quarter that doesn't have any enemy units in it, which is, you know, it's crazy. It's a potential of 2, 4, 6, 8 points being picked up in a turn there for Purge the Vermin. It's a very dangerous one in the middle and late stage of the game, and if you wipe the opponent out, you can be picking up points, crazy amount of points for that secondary. It's always done well for me, that one, in games. You've got Treasures of the Aeons, so there's selecting objectives. It represents the enemy's taken some Necron riches, and the Necrons are trying to get them back. You get rewarded for that, so another really good one as well. So absolutely just love using these. And the games that I've played just got that real feel of what's happening in the game is exactly how you imagine the Necrons would be in the middle of a battle. So you got where these characters work. They hang around, for example, the Warden and the Overlord. They hang around the Necron warriors. They're blessing them. They're making it easier for them to hit. They're helping them pull back out of combat and shoot with the Warden. So you've got a real good symbiosis with the characters and the units taking place as well, which is very good. You've got the Crusade rules, which again for fluff and immersing yourself in the style of the Necrons is going to be really good. And then the actual rules here for these. Illuminor Zeros, able to resurrect fallen models, repairing and restoring models, and then Necron warriors, even more of those can be restored. It's a big incentive to take Necron warriors and use him. He's got mechanical augmentation. You can make them tougher, stronger, improve their ballistic skill during the game. He augments and manipulates them with that. So just crazy rules. Really good. Like you got, I talked about the Royal Warden there with the ability to help a unit pull back and so on. Scorpec Lord, great model. So that just gives you an idea, just to give you some kind of flavour of what the Necrons are about. But I've just noticed in the games that I've played, they're very enjoyable to use in the game. A very enjoyable thing that you see play out in front of you. Even when you're trying to use them in a very strong way, in a competitive way, because Necrons will make good progress in our league, it's still just, there's a great vibe, a great flow about the Necron army with the models, and then combine that with some fantastic rules as well. So I have to say, maybe you disagree, maybe you don't rate the Necron Codex, but I have to say, to Games Workshop, they've done a great job. They really have. The Codex is excellent, and the new concepts of the models is just mind-blowingly good. Really, really impressed. And so I've been busily, as you've seen, I've been busily painting up brand new models, painting up models for our games, constructing new stuff, building new stuff just as quickly as I can, just to expand out my Necron collection. And really, the new list that I have that's been developed over on the Plus channel, it's mostly brand new models. So it's a complete, almost an entire overhaul of my Necron army. Brand spanking new list for them in future games. So I hope this video is giving you a good idea. I just felt I wanted to make a video about the Necrons, just saying how good they are. It's not all about Space Marines. It doesn't have to be all about them. There's many Space Marine players out there, but maybe you fancy something different. For those 5 reasons, I'd encourage you to go for Necrons. So reason number 1, the models are amazing. The sculpting work on them is incredible. The pose of them, the concept of each of them is fantastic. So that's one of the top reasons. The second reason, they're easy to paint. So maybe you're new to collecting Warhammer 40,000, or you struggle when it comes to painting. Even at a very basic standard, if you follow the painting tutorials along, you can get some great results with the Necrons and have an army to be proud of. Even if your painting standard's not that high, I think you can get some great results with the Necrons, and you can have an army to be proud of for sure. So that's the second reason. Then the third reason is that they're cheap at the moment. They're cheap to get a hold of second hand. Check out eBay and look them up. You'll find them cheap. I was blown away at how cheap they are to get a hold of, and amazing models, and yet such a great price. But that's not going to last forever. And then number 4 is that they are something different compared to the other factions. If you're looking for a change, you're bored of Astra Militarum, or the other Xenos factions don't really appeal to you. Necrons is something utterly unique compared to other factions that are out there, model-wise, playstyle-wise, and so on. Necrons stand alone as a very independent faction from the others that are out there. And then the final reason why I think Necrons are amazing, and that is that their current brand new codex for 9th edition, in my opinion, is really good. Just, you've got a very unique set of rules, very unique set of units, and the way Necrons are in the background story is the way they play on the tabletop, even at sort of a competitive level as well. So that's the 5th reason why I think Necrons are amazing, and it's a great time now to collect them. So that's the video. Leave your own comments and suggestions, whether you agree with the points I've made or not. By all means, leave your comments and feedback. I'd love to hear from you if you had collected Necrons. Domitus has come along, Codex and new models. Do you still love Necrons? Do you think it is a really good time to collect them now? Do you like them more than ever before? Do you agree with what I'm saying? It'd be great to hear back from fellow Necron players that are out there. And good or bad feedback, whatever you think, leave it in the comments section below, so we can start the conversation about why Necrons are so good. But that's the video. Thanks for watching, and tune in next time.